This is really nice. Kind of one of those storybook days. All this it's called reindeer moss, and it's everywhere. And it's just really cool. Again, it's just nice, so surreal. All these different environments that you walk through. Thanks again to Flat Top for putting me up last night. Oh my goodness, it was cold this morning. And I was thinking, oh, I'm so glad I didn't wake up in my tent this morning. I'd still be in my quilt shivering. But I got a nice early start. I got about 17 miles to go today to get to the end of Eglin. Be my last day in Eglin. If it's gonna be like this all day, it's gonna be a perfect day. Sun's coming up. It's gonna be warming up soon, so everything's good. I twisted my ankle maybe 2 days ago, and it was swelling up a little bit. Thankfully I didn't sprain it or nothing, but it's swelling up a little bit. But I think I'll be okay. It's feeling just fine. Feels a little tender with every step, but it's no big deal. Through hiking's a little bit like football, Sometimes you gotta play hurt. So I think this is a big moment for all you NOBOs, Northbounders, mile 1,000. To me, it means I got 1,000 miles more to go, and that's fine. But since I'm talking about NOBOs now, good time to talk about doing this trail, southbound versus northbound. So let me make the case for going northbound. Math. It is cold. It is January usually when you start, and you want to be at about 1,000 miles closer to the equator. You want to be 1,000 miles more south when it's cold. And then as your hike progresses, you're finishing up in, say, March or April. Well, you want to be a little cooler. That would be the north. You'd want to be finishing in the north. So just simple math. It makes sense to go south to north. And I know I'm doing a southbound channel here. You think, oh, what a traitor, making a case for northbound. But it just makes more sense to me to go northbound. The only thing to consider, and one of the reasons why I did go southbound, is that in the beginning, in the south, there is a long swamp walk through big cypress. But the thing about that swamp walk, from what I can tell, is that you still got dry campsites every, I'll call it approximately 10 miles, which is, that's what you want when you're starting. You don't want to do big miles. Now, the problem with going southbound is you're kind of stuck doing big miles on pavement. The second day out, you're going to do a really long, depending on if you stay in Pensacola Beach or camp in Santa Rosa, you're going to do a 14 to 15 mile day, and a lot of that's going to be on pavement. Most of it's going to be on pavement, and when you're not in hiker shape yet, that hurts. That was a difficult day for me. And I was staying with Flat Top last night, and he said it took an AT through hiker off this trail, getting injured on that section going into Navarre. Also, I thought, well, I'll go southbound, I won't get my feet wet right away, and all of that. Heck, it rained on me all day the second day. My feet got just as wet as if I had been in the swamp. So I really can't think of a case for going southbound. I'm fine with it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining. I'm enjoying my southbound hike just fine. It's not that big a deal, really. But I'm just saying, for anybody that's thinking about doing this in the future, I would really recommend you go north, young man and young woman. That's just makes more sense to me. The only case, now I'll make my case for southbound. It'll be real short, and it's year specific. This year down in the south, the Seminole Reservation is closed to, because of what's going on in the world here in 2020 and 2021. And those of us going southbound, we've bought more time to get down there than we're hoping that it's open by the time we get down there. There you go. I'm done making my case for going southbound. Feel free to leave in the comments, anything I might have missed as to why it might be better to go southbound. But, it just doesn't make too much sense. But hey, it's worked out for me. I've got to meet great people along the way so far, and it's just cold, that's all. And it just makes sense to go northbound. But anyway, I just thought I'd throw that out there for people that might be wondering which way to go. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It's gonna be a nice hike whatever way you go. So that's all I got to say about that. Well, I hope the camera picks this up okay. It looks like a nice clean print. But I don't see any others. Maybe up ahead there. I don't know. That just might be a coincidence. It looks to me like maybe I'm imagining things. Nah, that's good. That can't be nothing. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you think that's a print. Speaking of prints, I just walked by here. The one on the left is me, and then you see there's another print on the right. That one looks like it's probably 2 days old, and I believe that's Z's hiking shoe. Sometimes you'll get to know your fellow hikers' hiking shoes, their footprints, and you can kind of figure out where they are. So I'm guessing he's at least, I'd say he's 2 days ahead based on the wear on that print. I don't think it rained the last couple of days. Anyway, that gives me a chance to talk about trail names. I know I've been using terms like, or talking about people with names like Z and Flat Top and Sparkles and Jaboots, and my trail name is Hop Frog, and it's probably kind of confusing to people. Oh my goodness, look what these pigs did. These pigs, it's like a war going on between the Florida Trail Association and the feral pigs. Man, they tore this part up good. Anyway, back to trail names. So, I don't know how the tradition started or whatever, but when you do a long distance through hike, you generally go by a trail name, and it usually has like a funny story attached to it, or something like you did something silly and then you got a trail name because of it. And you really don't know people's real names out here. Well, you do if you're in the Florida Trail Facebook group, but other than that, like for instance, I hiked with Z for like 2 days, and we get along great and talked about, spent hours talking about different topics, but I couldn't tell you what his real name is, and he couldn't tell you what my real name is. We just know each other by our trail names. When I hiked the AT, I probably made, 100 or 200 friends out there, and ooh, that looks like a good place to stop. I'm making a video. I could sit and talk. Don't be lazy. Anyway, where was I? So I probably met a couple of hundred people out in the Appalachian Trail, and I only knew maybe the real names of half a dozen of those people. I just knew them by their trail names. And my trail name, when I the first week on the AT, I came hobbling in, dragging my foot to this place called Neal's Gap, because it was really tearing me up that first week. And I guess this guy was an English lit major, and he says, "You're walking like Hop Frog." And I said, "What?" And he said, "Yeah, there's this Edgar Allan Poe story where they describe this character Hop Frog. He walks with he's dragging his leg behind him." He said, "Oh, maybe that could be your trail name." I said, "Well, that sounds good enough to me. I guess that'll be my trail name." So ever since then, that's been my trail name, and it's worked out okay. So anyway, that's the story behind these funky names. They're called trail names. Oh, what a nice day. The sun's out. It's warming up. The trail is pristine. I'm going to be spoiled going through this section. So I know it's not going to all be like this, but this has been Eglin Air Force Base. Going through this Eglin area, at least. I don't know if all of it's the Air Force Base, but It's been a really nice section of trail. All right, so this is the Aliqua campsite. This is the first like hiker registration box I found, assuming that's what that is. So I want to see if my guess was correct. Is Z 2 days ahead of me? What's the date today? I think today is the 1st, so he would have signed in on the 29th. Let me double check that date. Tends to happen. I messed up. Today is the 2nd. So that means he would have signed in on the 31st, if my guess is correct. I have not cheated. I have not looked. This is like when Geraldo opened up Al Capone's vault and there was nothing in there. Let's see what happens. Okay, we do have a journal. Son of a gun, my camera was off. I went through the whole thing, opening it up live, and I'm not going to recreate it. I'm not going to be fake like that, but I did open this up live for the first time on what I thought was on camera, but my camera was off. Anyway, it's much less dramatic now, but I was right. You see January 31st there is Z heading southbound. And so there's no other entries after his, so that was his footprint that I saw on the trail, and my guess was correct. Okay, decisions to make. I got out here, got a nice early start, skipped a good breakfast I could have had, skipped sleeping in so that I can get to the portal campsite. I'm at Aliqua, and that dang high ankle thing I got going on is starting to bug me. So I'm thinking, do I do a short day today and a short day tomorrow and heal up? Or push on? I know I can make it, but I don't know if it's wise to do so. I'm gonna look through this journal and decide then. Kind of an elaborate bridge out here in the middle of nowhere. I guess trail volunteers had to bring in all this material quite a ways, because this is kind of deep in. So again, it just goes to show you the hard work that these people do and don't get paid for it. Yeah, this bridge would not have been easy to make. All right, pretty cool. Well, I knew after I decided to push on that was the wrong decision. About a mile in, I thought, I should turn back and go to the Aliqua campsite. That campsite was so nice, and I'm still, now my right ankle up top is starting to, it's not the ankle really, it's more like the shin area starting to swell up. I should have just called it a day early, but I got up early with the intent of getting to this next campsite, so I kept pushing. After about a mile, I thought, let me go back. After 2 miles, I thought, let me go back. After 3 miles, it was like, it's too late. Just keep going. It's not too bad, but if I had to do it over again, I would have decided to make camp there. Just had an easy day today, and then an easy day tomorrow. Because I'm just making that injury worse, but I don't want to talk it up too much. It's not a big injury. It's more like the swelling is definitely there. You probably can't even see it. But like my right ankle, right up in there. I don't know if you can see it, it's swelling, but It's more like a big marble in there or something swelling, that kind of swelling. I don't anticipate it's going to be anything major, but I do need to start taking it a little easy. All right, this is the wall. A little elevation change. If you're going northbound, you get to climb it. If you're going southbound, well, you can slide down there, which I might do. I don't want to risk messing up my ankle. Or you can climb down. Geez, I'd rather not be climbing down it, but I think I'm just gonna throw my hiking poles down there and climb down.